can hear everything well. Let me just put this under. Okay. Steve, is it recording?
Good.
Alright, perfect.
Alright.
Yeah, we were just talking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna press record and then we can, like I said, we'll start it from wherever.
Yeah. Just how we're feeling it out.
Yeah,
I guess.
Fix.
Hold on. We gotta stop recording real quick.
Yeah, no, we
It's
can turn
not-
it off. Or like,
It's not
delete it.
loud at all.
That's out.
It just cuts it out. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Hello? Yeah.
Is it music playing?
No, there's no music playing. I guess we're just gonna have to talk like this. Hold on. Dude, I don't know.
Go to master.
That's actually perfect. If you want to listen to it, you can, but I thought it wasn't going to be loud, but it's actually pretty loud.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to
What about the,
listen,
oh no, that's pitch correction. Yeah, I wanna listen to it. I just, oh yeah, this is up. Huh. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then just delete and so that the timer starts. The back.
Oh, perfect. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Dude, Julio.
I know, dude.
Somebody offered a first round pick.
Who offered him a first round?
It didn't say. Like, it was, I think the whole thing though is that, like, I think they didn't disclose the team. They just said they were getting calls and that somebody actually, it was a future first round pick, so I don't know if that means next year future or like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Like, I don't know what the Falcons, like, right now, they look, you need a QB next year.
Yeah,
Matty
they
Ice,
do.
like,
They do, but Julio's worth the first round. I don't think that's a question to anyone.
yeah,
right?
but
You
nobody,
think,
I don't
you
think
he's. You
nobody's
think he's first
questioning
round, right?
that he's not worth the first round. The problem is D-Hop just went for a second and a fourth.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless they're saying he went for a second and fourth and, who was it, David Johnson, who, like, had that one good year.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, but he came off a down year. So, like, I mean, if you were Houston, was David Johnson really the reason that, you know, you didn't want first round to hit?
Yeah, I know. And like Julio, I don't think there's a big skill gap between Julio and D-Hop, but
Yeah.
Julio's a franchise player, and he has been the franchise player of the Falcons. Like, you can argue
But
whether it's
D-Hop's
Matt
not.
Ryan or not. It's a question, I guess, to front offices. To us, it's like, Julio's a fucking.
I guess if D-Hop would have stayed in Houston,
He would, yeah, I know.
that didn't make sense to me. I don't know how they butchered that. Because
Almost-
not only did you trade D-Hop, you basically gave up Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, because he's after D-Hop's gone. It's like, all right, I'm not staying here. And then
Like,
with all the fucking
And
allegations,
D,
that are
like,
out
I
as
give
well,
him
it's like-
credit, bro. He tried. He could have easily, after they traded D-Hop, started this, like, you know, where he's just not,
F the franchise.
yeah, like,
thing,
hold
get
out
me out of here,
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. because-
yeah,
You know, but he didn't. He gave him a chance, and then they went 4-12.
yeah.
Like, if you're going to trade his best receiver, and he has I mean,
He
he had
gave
one
him
of
a
his,
chance.
they said that he had, I mean, it's statistically proven he had one of his better years last year.
Yeah,
So if your QB had a career year and you're 4-12,
you gotta ask yourself,
like,
what am I
dude.
doing here? Do these people want to help me win? Does the front office even want to win a ring? Like, that I'm working for, that I'm
And they're
putting my all
even,
to?
they're like, they had a perfect year to do it, brother.
Yeah.
That division was, the Colts sucked last year.
That
The
division was
Jags
horrible.
went 1-16. The Titans, I mean, they get in, but you're not like, Titans haven't got over not go over the hump, and I've been saying it from the beginning. I don't think they're getting over it.
Speaking of
Tannehill.
shitty franchises, how about the Knicks game yesterday? Huh?
Dead ass, dude.
Shout out to Ohm.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. That was
a great ass game. Game 2 of the NBA playoffs.
yeah.
Knicks versus Atlanta.
Like, I don't, like, Trae Young after one game is your
Utah,
that's the conversation we were having earlier. Like, if it was, like, why, what we were talking about earlier is how, like, what is it? Like, is it actually, like, one of those, going to go down as, like, one of those old school rivalries where it was, like, you know, let's even say, like, Garnett versus, you know, the Knicks, or, like, more so, like, one of those Bulls teams in their playoff years with, like, Jordan and those guys, and, like, when Rodman had rivalries, you know what I mean?
So I think it could be. The only thing is, those teams, they're just not up to par. Like you said, like, these are some of the worst teams in the NBA. And because of the play-in, the Knicks and the Hawks are now 4 and 5. It's like they're the NBA. I feel like what they're doing with this play-in tournament is they're trying to build up these teams. These teams like the Knicks and the Hawks who haven't got playoff notoriety in years. They want to give them a chance. All right, now you have the live screen. Let's see what your franchise can do.
I don't know that the play-in caused them to be top 4 and 5 with average teams, but that was like, I feel like that was the reverse effect, because what happened was they were trying to play the franchises to stop tanking. So okay, the lesser franchises, when they, you know, were below 500, they didn't go, oh, we're not making the playoffs, let's just get in the lottery. That part worked. But what I saw happen was the good teams were like, oh, there's 2 more roster spots and, like, we have 4 all-stars. Why the hell would we play them? The Brooklyn played their starting 5 super team 17 games, and they played 82, right? 80 something games, and they played 17. So because they knew no matter what seed they got in the playoffs, they're Brooklyn, and they have 5 starters that are well rested now.
So now the problem arises with that. You try to take out tanking with the plan. So now you get, and unintentionally, obviously, Adam Silver didn't mean to do this. Now you unintentionally gave super teams leeway to just not play their stars.
Yeah, because they're not taking. They're looking at it and go, oh, we're just letting guys get work during. They're treating the regular. They're gonna start treating the regular season as a full-on preseason because now, like, you know how, like, one player could almost make us, like, one player doesn't make a super team, but there's a lot of teams that have one player away from that elite
big
level
super team, like playoff, the NBA finals contention,
like if the Sixers were to add like a 4-time All-Star, like even if the Sixers had like Paul George.
You know what a lot of people say? If the Sixers drafted Tatum with that first pick, Stephen A. Smith was saying, he's like, there is not a question in my mind they would beat the Brooklyn Nets and be NBA champions.
100%.
I don't think so though. I love Tatum.
Beat Brooklyn this year.
I love Tatum, but all right.
Philly just doesn't have
and it's time to get the cat out of the bag. Austin, what's his name?
Rivers?
No. I'm having a freaking brain.
Austin.
He's point guard for the 76ers. Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons
is not good. Ben Simmons is not a good basketball player. He can't shoot. Okay, he's a pass-first point guard. I can name off the top of my head 10 point guards in the NBA that pass better than him. Outside of his defense, what does he really do? Drive?
No,
anyone his size.
It's just weird that the point guard is winning or in the running for defensive player.
Right.
Like, I don't think he's gonna win it.
I hope they may have released it. He doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, like I don't know. Simmons is interesting. It's just the fact he's 7 feet tall, and he's at the 7 foot athletic guys. Like, they're just starting to basketball's starting to, like, it's like the stereotype, like, you had it, oh, you're tall, you probably play basketball. Now that kind of is the case.
I know, but it's like,
because there's 7'2" guards
that can dribble and shoot
8 threes a game.
And I'm way different. And you have to play them.
They're just as athletic as the guys that are 6'4", 6'8",
and they can do so much. That's positionless basketball,
dude.
It's making it
like
crazy.
KD, like it just makes it. I watched him in the Celtics game. There's not a guy on him that's not a he's a mismatch for everybody. No matter who is on him. And then they make it worse and they still switch him. Like, even the guy who he would beat anyway,
because at that point
you might as well, right?
Yeah, you might as well.
You guarantee the points. Yeah, 100%. You guarantee the points. But, like, they don't need to, like, you know, take I don't know who's like I think, like, Fournier's like bigger. Or Tatum was guarding him. They don't necessarily even need to take Tatum off of him. They still pick him so that he's on Fournier and he runs right past him. And I'm like, dude, or so he's on Grant Williams and just goes right past him. I'm like, dude,
I know.
Like, and he can hit it from
anywhere. 30, like Stephen A. said, from 30. He's a different type of player. He's a generational talent. I have been very surprised with Zion. Not saying he's a bad player, but is he what you expected him to be? I thought he'd have a little better second year then?
I think there's still a little bit of load management going on.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, like, I think he's in the wrong spot. Mm-hmm. Like, because the Pelicans aren't a reputable
organization,
franchise like that, dude. Like, if Zion was like, shit, I mean, if Zion was in the Knicks.
Yeah. That's what all the Knicks fans were like, Zion to the Knicks, KD's coming.
Bro. Oh, if they got Zion and KD.
I know.
So, but I think the Knicks are your top 3 seed as long as they get
one more player.
If they get Zion, then you have RJ and.
This is kind of a hot take, but I feel like if you put Lonzo on the Knicks, that's a good ass team. Yeah. I feel like that's where Lonzo would shine. He didn't work in LA. I mean. Yeah. No pass first point guard that had as much hype coming out of UCLA is going to do well with LeBron his first year. Yeah. I mean, granted, LeBron got hurt, but they didn't make the playoffs. You can't put that on Lonzo.
No.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah. No, I don't. Dude. I'd love to see Lonzo in Boston.
Yeah. I said that since day one. I'd love to see Lonzo in Boston.
But I didn't see it at first. But now that he's like. It's just. Like, interesting though, like, why was that? Were they have injuries this year? Like, or is it just because they have 2 guys? Because the Pelicans, like, with the play-in, like, they still didn't get in.
Well, they're young. I guess that's the excuse. They're young.
Yeah, I mean, next year, like, you got Lonzo's in his 4th year.
Next year, there's no young
3rd year, right?
It's like, you guys need to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
you put you around 3 people.
You got 4-3. Lonzo, you're on your 2nd team in 5 years.
You better figure it out.
Like, and he is doing it. I mean, I'll give him a big shout.
Yeah,
I think if him and Zion were the same year this year.
Oh yeah. I know.
That's why next year they'd probably be dirty.
Probably.
Especially if they add someone. I don't know what free agency looks like next year, but
me neither.
But especially if they add someone. Like, I mean, dude, you gotta look. Like, the Clippers are gonna get swept, and like, Kawhi's not staying.
Well, if Kawhi leaves, he looks really bad. Or is that just the new?
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
You just lose with your team and just switch to
like the trend would say Kawhi's gonna leave because that's just what he's been doing.
Where does he go to though? That's my question. Without having like a bad.
Dude, I've never been. Instance. I don't. Maybe it's because he's on the West Coast and I don't watch him. I've never seen the hype on Kawhi. Just in the playoffs, yes.
Yeah.
But like. But even kinda, you're seeing like he can't carry the team on his back.
Yeah.
Like are they? Because I feel like he's not on a bad team.
He's not. That
so
team is fully loaded.
If he was, so I understand he's doing everything, but like his supporting cast should be good enough to.
It is his supporting cast is
because it's enough. Like
if they have a loaded team. They have a team like the Lakers that has role players that's built to win a championship. The star players just need to step up. Paul George is horrible.
Aren't they 2 seed?
Yeah, they are 2 seed. They play like a 6 seed because in the playoffs they just disappear. And Kawhi shows up, but like we said, Tatum, he dropped 0 points in the second half against the Nets. You're not gonna win when your star player plays like that.
No, you can't. You know what I mean? Literally can't.
You can't.
Even no matter what.
It's almost in business.
I think the only team that can afford to do that is Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Like if Harden has 5, it doesn't matter because KD and. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, have, 35, 40 apiece.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Yeah.
Just it's insane. I don't know how long that's going to last. Dude. Like, it looked like the Warriors were never going to end.
Yeah. I really thought the Warriors would be like a together team that like a dynasty.
Injuries, man. Yeah. Injuries, little slip-ups. It's just
frustration in the front office.
I mean,
you got to keep everyone happy.
You knew there was cracks because they won 72 games.
And lost.
Like, I mean,
that's a big.
That was early in the dynasty, per se, too. Because then they win like 2 or 3 after that.
Yeah, and they won one before that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like it was just ironic that that's the season it happened.
I know, and
because I remember tracking that winning streak and being like,
how are they only losing 11 games, right?
Well, because they won like some stupid
in a row,
NBA record.
63 in a row, I think it was. Don't quote me on that. I might be
63. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if they only lost.
I might have been.
They only lost. I think they lost 9 times because it's 81 games. They didn't even. Yeah, they only lost. Yeah. That's the thing because remember they, other than the loss in the championship, they like beat the Bulls.
Yeah, because it was 73.
The Bulls
it wasn't 72.
The Bulls finished it off.
Doesn't mean a thing without the ring.
Right. It doesn't. Dead pass. But
that's like saying Yeah, I achieved my dreams. I almost did. You know what I mean? It just doesn't count. Almost doesn't count. As good, and this can go for like sports. This can go for anything.
Yeah.
As good as you are, as fully equipped as you are,
yeah.
when you get to the spot that you want to get, you better be ready to maintain.
Dude,
there's a lot of bullshit that comes with it. I'm sure you know, so get into that.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because you just brought up a great thing about consistency.
Yeah.
So, like,
you can't get satisfied and just stay in that state because you'll lose it right away.
Like, I mean, by all means, the reason people are successful, though, I think, and just in my opinion, is like you talk about once you get to the top, you got to be able to do it.
Yeah.
The reason the people are successful is because they're so consistent up until that point. Mm-hmm. It's not even a question that they're gonna keep doing it.
And you know why?
You rarely.
I learned this from you.
I could be wrong, but okay, I want to hear that. But
I'll hold it.
Like, can you really point out a time where you saw somebody reach the top? Or everyone's perspective that's different. Or you saw them reach this great
of their craft.
Like, let's say Kanye doesn't win one Grammy Award and stop writing music.
Yeah, and so this will tie into what I was gonna say. What I've learned from you, and we'll get back to the Kanye.
Yeah.
What I've learned, basically just being your friend, really.
Yeah.
Is just consistency is everything, because being consistent, doing the same thing every day, it's gonna teach you that when you get to the point of where your success at, those habits will just be built into you.
It becomes part of your life.
Yeah, and then when you're on your way to your goal, when you have a little trickles in your armor, stains on your jersey that you get from there, it doesn't, you know what I mean? You just go back to your routine and you kind of just bounce off of it, almost become a better person from it. That's what I've learned.
Dude, 100%. Like, even on the mental side of things, literally, if I have a bad day or stressful day, I look back and I go, like, did I wake up and these are the things I do, but like, did I wake up and meditate or take my shower?
Just daily routine.
And I always go back to it, and you know what? When I go to bed, and like tonight might be one of those nights. You can at least be happy
about those
things. Yeah, I always have that thing. I'm like, you know what? I gave myself the best shot. Whereas like a day like today, like we had our fun for what were we celebrating yesterday?
I don't even remember.
It was a Wednesday, so
we went
ladies' night. I was celebrating. I guess I was celebrating ladies' night at the country bar last night. So you wake up from a time like that, and I'm not doing my routine.
Yeah. But you gotta bounce back.
I went to bed at 4 a.m. Woke up at 8:30 and was in meetings. Like, that's how life goes. But I didn't do any of those things, and then I'm like, I feel a little different.
Yeah.
Not everything. There's a little weird annoyances or whatever that are like I'm getting triggered.
Because you're not in your routine. Those little things that throw you off, you're like, oh shit.
And if I do my thing, and then all I gotta do is go back. If you're going out 3 bad days in a row, stop doing what you do every day, and then like watch.
Change it.
You like test yourself seriously, because it's like it's a good reminder. Like, because that's all I think about all day. Like, yo, Jack, it's cool that I've gotten to that point, but it's like, yo, dude, you didn't wake up and have your hour to yourself and really think things out.
Yeah, it's important.
And it's so important. Yeah. Like, because you're uncomfortable, you're like, oh, it didn't start the way I wanted to. But it's like that with anything. But yeah, consistency is so big, dude.
Huge.
Literally, push it.
It's insane your progression you can have just from a week of consistency.
God, bro.
You know what I mean?
It's the thing. That's why, like,
I didn't believe it. So, like, I know a lot of people looking like, you're like, yeah, well, what can I do?
Have you ever done it with anything? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Other than maybe sports,
yeah,
which help us a little bit, I think at least gate to that point, but it's different when you're doing.
So I've done it mainly for obligations such as like work, business, school, relations, stuff like that. And what I can say is, like, a lot of people will be like, oh, what is consistency going to do for me? What is 1 week of just getting into routine, working on me, what is that going to do for me? But it does a lot, and you're not going to know until you try.
Dude,
because I'm someone who doubted it. You know that. I'm like, yeah, it is fear. But the thing is, the fear you have in your head, that shit is fake. That shit is completely fake, and I will promise you.
Yeah.
No, like, that shit is fake.
I heard something this week that, like, literally nails down, like on the head. It was either Mike or I'll find out who said it, but they go, they said it feels, the only part that sucks about doing like what you're supposed to do or what you want to do, like these things, like for example, like going to the gym, The part that that you think you're gonna feel when you get to the gym because you went to the gym instead of sitting in your bed is what you're feeling in your bed.
Yeah.
Once you get there, it
you don't
feels
feel
good.
that. Yeah, you're like, oh shit, I did that, right?
Right?
Like, yeah.
100%. So I don't understand the fear, dude. Honestly, I suffered from it.
Yeah, it's anxiety.
And like
from
I'm still working off that. But once I heard that, I go, nah. Now anytime you like, there's something you feel like you should do, or like everyone has those things. Yeah. Like a lot for me, it's multiple things. It's waking up and going to the gym in the morning. It's making sure, even just homework, dude.
Yeah.
But you ever notice, like when you say you don't want to wake up and go to the gym at 6 a.m. or, and then you actually go and you feel 100% better. It's the same thing with consistency. Give yourself that week. Say, look, I'm literally gonna work on what I love to do for a week straight. It's going to turn into 20 days. Yeah. Just by you committing to a week.
Because you'll realize
you're going to gain 20 days.
Easy,
and
right?
if you're sitting here before you start even listening to this, thinking, oh, I can't go, if you want 20 days worth of success, sit down for a week.
Yeah. Because you'll just do it after the week. You'll feel so happy.
It'll be part of your routine.
How easy it is, yeah. It'll be part of your routine.
You just got to start. Just do something. For me, bro, like, this year was all about, like, doing it. We're in the midst of it. We're halfway there.
Yeah.
But it's been so cool because I like set those things. A good way to start is stick to your fucking New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Like whatever you write down, mean it and actually participate.
Yeah.
But
But it doesn't even have to be a resolution.
Yeah,
just
don't hold yourself
your
to it. Just like have them in mind. Like, you know what I mean? For me, it was I'm gonna do one thing towards the business every day.
Single
and
day.
If I have
talk to me about that.
If I have
every
6
day.
businesses, then I need to do one thing towards each of those 6 things I'm involved in. Every day, just a little thing, dude. Anything. For me, it could be as simple as making one TikTok. For the podcast. The podcast, I did my one thing for the day. It kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier. We're like, you get in that routine. Mm-hmm. Or like Profit Jack, I'm gonna make one listing today, and I'm happy. I'll list one listing. I'll get it on 3 different websites. That is good enough for me as long as I did it today instead of doing nothing.
Yeah.
And because eventually, like, you do one, and then I end up listing 3.
Mm-hmm. So, like you said, with consistency, balance, and all that, I like to go back to something. This is something that I think this is something that me and my dad have talked about recently in the past. And he's probably going to see this and really like this. But one thing that we definitely, as we've grown older, have really connected and bonded over is the fact that life puts you in a lot of situations. And when you're forced to go outside of your comfort zone, a lot of times that's when you find things like passions, what you're happy about. So those routines, you'll begin to balance them in. You'll be like, wow, this is fun. This isn't even a routine. This isn't even something where I'm like forcing myself to do it.
No.
And everyone had to deal with those circumstances where it's like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Gotta get
anyone you look up to, I guarantee you, they will say that comfort zone that I had to get pushed out of, that's the reason why I'm here today. At least my idols, the people that I look up to, that's how it is for me. So that's kind of reassurance in my head where I'm just like, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing right now. I just need to keep fucking pushing forward.
Exactly. It's all consistent. You start to see the signals. One thing I notice is when I'm consistent with stuff, I see the opportunities a lot more.
Yeah.
I see the signals
a lot more. It comes to you. When you help yourself, other people want to help you. The world wants to help you. The universe wants to help you.
It's raising that vibe that I talk about every week. You're just in a better mood. I'm like in this like winning streak thing, like flow state that I'm focused on. And it's like, it's just one of those things where today I'm going to let things happen and everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. You know what I mean? Like just keeping that same thing, but then doing it in everything. Somebody who does that really well. I mean, artists do that really well because they're consistently putting out music.
Yeah.
Like, we can go back to what we were saying about Kanye. We could really do this about Drake because shout out to Drake.
Let's do it.
Fucking artist of the decade. Like, I don't think
deserved though. Well deserved.
And unanimous.
As unanimous and as mainstream as he is.
Yeah.
You can't sit here and tell me like I don't like Drake's music.
But
that's a lie. Like he makes every genre, different types of genres, mainstream.
It's like you can't say LeBron's not a good basketball player.
Yeah, he's a good basketball player. Whether you personally like who he is, the person or not, or follow him. Yeah, you gotta respect the greatness because it's right in front of our
There's definitely those guys out there like, I just don't like. Guys like LeBron that, do their,
it's their
that know the game so well.
You gotta respect it, though, at the end
they
of the
look
day.
at, flopping as one thing. I look at it as knowing the game and winning at all costs.
Yeah, winning at
LeBron,
all costs.
Kobe, Jordan, they're winners,
dude.
Yeah. If you think LeBron's flopping and crying about it, you have some serious issues because he's just playing the game.
Yeah.
He sees Russ get away with it. Harden's notorious at it.
God.
And I'm that way with Harden. There's some diehard Harden fans that like would call me that. Say that's contradictory statement.
I don't like Harden. Yeah.
Okay, but it is.
No,
they're exactly right.
It's a contradiction.
The way I see LeBron is he's playing the game. The way I see Harden, which maybe LeBron's on their level because he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
And
he
Harden,
can get away with
but Harden's still an elite player.
He is.
So I could, if somebody came up to me and was like, you said this, and then I think Harden bullshits it every single time.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him hook the Celtics 3 different times.
For me,
and
because
I don't want to give him that credit of saying he's playing the game.
And this is why, because he doesn't have that level of greatness like LeBron.
The respect.
And Kobe would even talk about this. R.I.P. Kobe, legend. But
100%.
Kobe would talk about this, and he'd say, when I was in my 3rd, 4th year in the league, I was playing the Jazz. Like, I wasn't getting those calls, and I was frustrated. And he said, like, Mike came up to me and talked to me and said, if you want to get those calls in the playoffs, you better fucking win without them.
Okay, so there was...
Yeah.
He talked to...
No,
who did
he
talk to?
Jordan. He talked to Jordan.
Okay, all right.
But that's, that's basketball. But that can be applied in life. You know what I mean?
But it's so funny because, the low-key, the refs are, fans of the game, just
us.
Yeah. They're the ones making those judgments. It's
know.
like, when you're a ref, you're, the one... maybe I'm overthinking this, but,
no, you're probably
they're low-key, deciding, apparently there's a certain... The refs in the Celtics game the other night have gotten that respect level for Harden.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. I'm sure there's people in basketball that haven't or whatever, and maybe he has. I mean, I'm not dissing Harden. I think he's a good player. I just don't like the way he plays. Let's make that clear.
Yeah,
but there's the rest of this. No, he respects that. He's on that level in our eyes.
We're
so the ref
officials look
it,
at him and they're like, okay, I'm gonna call this foul even though it was contradiction.
I don't. Mm-hmm. But in that same with LeBron. They're yeah.
But I mean, I was gonna go back and say that's in basketball where you know what I mean. They respect your craft, they respect what you're doing, so they're gonna give you those calls. That happens in life too. You know what I mean? As you're working out, say you're working in business, you want to be a filmmaker. Nobody's gonna give you those leads for you until you make a name for yourself, and that can be frustrating when you're doing those routines every day. You're working towards your craft, and you're still just not getting those breaks, but they come.
That's right when you're about to break through.
I was just gonna say that's right when you're about to make the breakthrough. It's happened to me with other things. You know what I mean?
I've learned that this year
in life.
head on. You know, and maybe you've experienced it in other ways or whatever, but there was, and I'm pretty open about it, but there was times where I was like, dude, I feel like I'm doing everything right, and I can't get one break.
Surface,
or not even a break. I'm just like, but you know what? It's just the universe, or it's the game telling you, it's keep humbling
going.
Me.
Yeah.
It's just saying,
going.
See, this is when...
And it goes back to when we talked,
keep working, the blessings are coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That was that reminder. If I would have quit there, or I would have just bitched about how I hadn't made it yet, or whatever, I'm not saying I made it by any means, but I'm just saying, getting that goal, I had a goal in mind, and, a way I wanted to be, and, for that time period.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was just reminding you, keep working.
Yeah.
And if you quit now, you don't get it. So you have one option. You either don't do it, or you just suck it up, voice it, say, I wish I was here, I wish I was that, but continue to do it. Stay consistent, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it happen.
Because what I was going to say, when you get to that point, when you're so frustrated, I can't break over the surface, when you finally get there, everything's worth it. 100%. That moment when you had where you're like, I can't break over the surface, when you do get over it, you're like, that's why.
And Drake's on an interview, and he kind of talked about that.
Yeah. The Rap Caviar one, the 3-hour one. Yeah. That was crazy.
Put a link to that in the
bio. If you have not watched that, just go and watch it. Even if it's for 30 minutes.
Dude, and
it's crazy after somebody can, go through so many albums, awards, how many experiences he has, and he still wants to help people. And he still keeps going.
I didn't even, to be honest with you, dude, and honestly, why would we? Because it only happens I guess it would only happen every decade.
Yeah.
We kind of witness history. I didn't watch it live, but seeing, we lived through history. He's the career. Artist of this decade. 2010 to 2020, that was, it could be different, but I didn't seriously start listening to music until I was probably 14.
Yeah.
So
see, for me, that's
prime music time for me was that 2010 to 2020 gap.
Yeah.
And for
you got his prime. You got his exact
ton
prime.
Of people.
2014 to 2019. You got his prime.
And I think he's gonna have a total I think he might.
Oh no, he's gonna have the Brady effect in music.
Brady effect. I was just about to say that. That's so funny.
There's no question.
I was like, he's gonna turn around and have another Hall of Fame career just like Brady did.
Yeah. Just kind of the two Kobe, 8 and 24.
Yeah. Brady's done it. Steph's gonna do it. LeBron's done it.
Yeah.
And Drake's gonna do it, I think. Because even when you even showed me stuff from his first stuff, that song we were listening to today, and it's like I've never heard it. It's been out for the last 10 years or whatever, how 20 years, like I don't know.
The Fear by Drake.
Fear by Drake.
It's in a Thank Me Later second studio album.
Like when was that album released roughly?
Roughly?
Yeah, like I mean unless you know the exact date, but
I know roughly.
10 years ago, right?
Yeah, so Comeback Season was Drake's first mixtape that he debuted.
Yeah.
First ever like music that he produced out to the world before he was producer. His next studio album was Thank Me Later with that in there. If I had to guess, probably around 2012, 2013.
Yeah. So it's been there for 8 years and we just
Well, that's a discovery of music. That's what I love about music.
That's a good point.
No matter how much new music comes out, there's still old music that you don't know about by artists that you love.
My best times are literally when I'll just like I heard a new Mike song today, or I heard a new Max song the other day, and we're like,
what is this?
Just
how have we never heard
this?
You
want to hear it? Go look for it. Like I'm getting obsessed more with like the vintage stuff, and I'm starting to look at it in the music world too. So I'm going back to these guys that I like Mac and now Drake. I'm gonna go back. And all you have to do is type in Mac Miller first music video. It's all there, and I don't think people realize that.
They do. It's just they're like, once again,
they're
just like feel like it's a waste of time.
Yeah,
they're like, I'll just listen to his new shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
that's a
but
good
it's
point.
quality.
Not everybody thinks the same things are interesting. It's just amazing to me that it's always accessible, and like you find it at the most different times.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, man, I feel like there's a award show every week.
I know, right? It's tough because there's like VMAs, MTV, and they're all trying to make money. You know what I mean?
They are all trying to make money. And I 100% like the artists need to be recognized. Like,
for sure.
No problem. It's just like, is there just the events that have their pedigree that they'll never lose, and then there's those second, third tier awards, and that's why everyone's okay with there being an award show every week, because they just know, if you know those events and you're actually following them, you know, oh, this is a top tier event, and you're not turning on the second and third tier events, or you're like, oh, that's good for them because they're like a second tier artist,
so
and
they get the second tier event, the second tier award.
So I guess that's the reasoning.
So
to the outside, someone who doesn't know it just looks like they're having an award show every week, and I'm like, oh.
I know. But I think, it's a good thing
Are
they
people
do.
watching it? Didn't it they said it was down 50% from last year.
So what I was gonna say with that is as good as having all those award shows and everything, it gives another vessel to other artists to kind of get recognized. But at the same time, because there's being so many awards given out, it's kind of like making the award shows less credible.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Let's get more saturated.
That's what I think. But I guess we'll have to wait and see, because this year, out of any of the years, I've seen more music awards than any.
Which is weird, because
what are these platforms? You know what I mean?
I didn't think a lot. I thought a lot of artists held off releasing music because they couldn't perform because of COVID.
Yeah.
So I think there's some guys like Post Malone's a performer, and
he is. He needs the crowd to
drive. There's guys that they're performers. Their music is good,
but they're
I went to that Post Malone concert, insane.
MGK is one of those guys.
100%
for sure.
He's done a really good job at just releasing stuff subtly, and
he has a little bit of the Drake in him. They're completely separate artists, but just the fact that MGK 100%. Was able to mid-career take a look at himself in the mirror and be like, I'm going to change my complete genre and how I present myself to the public, and it worked.
And it's funny because I'm one of his newer. I've been on him, but I 100%. I wouldn't even. I never even listened to his other stuff.
Yeah.
Until I heard him do this, I go, oh, who's that guy?
Yeah.
And then he released another one, I go, oh, I guess he's doing this now. And I bought in.
Right.
I was one of those second half.
It took me until you showed me his new album to kind of buy it. I was like, MGK, isn't that the guy who sang Wild Boy with Waka Flocka Flame when I was in 8th grade? He's making rock right now? And then I listened to the album with you, I was like, wow, this is a good album.
That seem kind of crazy, they're just super creative.
Yeah.
So now
they're geniuses. They don't know how to express what's in their minds, so they look crazy to people. And people deal with that on the lower.
Because would you picture Megan Fox with that version of MGK?
Never. Never.
I mean, maybe that's her thing.
Yeah, it's surprising to this day.
Personally, and somebody made a point about this, is when and I think one of the actors I watched on a podcast was saying this, and it's when you meet people in public and they treat you like you're your role. And I feel like that's what we do with a lot of celebrities, or like especially actors, like Megan Fox. We're thinking her role in Transformers, that girl's not dating MGK.
Yeah, right. But she's just a normal person.
She's a normal person.
MGK is
she
just
could
a
be
normal
totally
person.
weird. She could be totally weird.
She probably is.
But we think she's just like this bad bitch that's was on our movie screen from fucking, you know what I mean?
Fantasizing her as a 7th grade boy watching Transformers. I think we all did that.
Yeah, that's admittedly like. Yeah,
the first crush.
You go, oh shit! Like there's hot girls in these movies.
Yeah.
And like they've been here the whole time.
MGK.
That's like the first one that you noticed, and you were like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's crazy, dude. Like you said, like just normal people. We're all normal people. Dude.
We're all normal people. I mean, it's crazy because it's all about everyone's got a different lens.
Yeah.
And people forget that.
I know.
And it's like, but how? I mean, I don't blame them.
Yeah, no. We have to have our different lens, but that's why it's good to take time and understand people. Understand why people are the way they are. You know what I mean?
I think there needs to be more stuff, and I think there is. It's growing on like a lot. Mm-hmm. That's why I think there's more. I don't see content going away. No, I don't see Instagram going away. I don't see TikTok going away. I don't see podcasts going anywhere, even though they are kind of a radio thing. Mm-hmm. There's so many creative ways to get the message out, or to get yourself out there.
It's a way for people to express themselves.
And people like hearing people that are willing to do that, because those are. And I don't want to generalize everyone, but honest people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're, and unless I think that, and I understand there's people that go on and they totally have a different persona. That's what the beauty of it is. Yeah. The freedom to we could come on here and be totally
different
total
character. We are. Granted, we don't do that.
Yeah,
but we could.
We could. We
know
could show
the
people that
do
that, and that could be our thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's totally okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But we choose to do it our way, and
And I feel like the biggest reason why we don't try to create a fake persona, we're being really raw and showing people our real selves, because I know I'm this way. Mm-hmm. I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like you feel this way a little bit.
I'm sure you're right.
Myself, I'm an open book. You know what I mean? Anything you want to talk to me about in my life, I will talk to you, because it's an experience. You know what I mean? And I'm 100%. Not afraid to put that out and talk about it.
No, and
that's why
the beauty of it is that's always unfiltered.
Yeah.
All right, you want to, I've got no problem opening it, but it's
be ready for it.
I'm not going to be politically correct.
Yeah,
I'm saying exactly
how I feel.
If you really want to understand from someone's experience, they need to say it, and whatever. But I feel like I always need to say it exactly how I felt in that moment.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I was fired up, I'm not gonna tell you about how it's just a very positive experience.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna be like, I wanted to rip this mother, that wasn't it. Mm-hmm. And I'll express it that way. Yeah. That way you actually understand, because otherwise, how do they understand how you feel now?
Yeah.
I can have that reaction and be like, yeah, I learned a lot.
That just goes with being real, because a lot of people, it's tough for them to get to that point where they can just be happy with themselves like we are and be like, this is my life. You know what I mean? Love it or hate it, but this is me. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important for people. All people need to kind of realize that, but. It takes time.
It does.
Takes time. And it takes growth.
It's consistency. It all goes back to being consistent. But it's there's just the rewards are there, and I think diving into seeing sports and seeing pop culture and follow these guys. They're successful at music. Music doesn't gotta be your thing. At the end of the day, the broad term, they're successful. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't look at them, you're not inspired, then those aren't the people that you're looking up to, because everyone's version of success is different.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I look at Drake as being, you really made a staple. The broad statement he makes when he becomes artist of the decade is he was the best at his job of the last 10 years. Yeah. I break it down to that point.
Yeah.
So how do I be the best entrepreneur of the decade? Yeah. I don't have to write music exactly the way he does, the way he sings it, and people may overthink that. Mm-hmm. You just gotta look, what were the things he was doing?
Exactly. What I was gonna say is how I even do that through music, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'll listen to a song and kind of just in my head, how can I relate to this? And I do that with other people and artists' success. I'm like, how can I relate to their success and try to better myself from it? 100%. And I think that's important. You can do that with average people that you know.
What did you say about that?
So, look at their success, take an artist, someone you know what I mean, idol, look at their success, and it's going to be different, but relate it and say how it was my upcoming kind of similar to his, how did he break out of it and grow from it, and kind of just use your own life circumstances and experience through that. And that person doesn't have to be idol, it can just be a normal person. I could do it from you.
Just
you know
be willing to ask.
Yeah, just talk, man. And I think that's people don't talk anymore.
Just talk.
Bro. Like we go up to people and have
network, dude. I can't
people
even preach it
people
enough,
are
dude.
afraid to talk to people.
This is
and
like,
it makes me insane because
yeah.
I'll be honest, like a lot from my hometown, a lot of people like they're not really talking to themselves, and it's for certain reasons. You know what I mean? Everybody has
reasons.
I moved to Florida at 18. You know what I mean? Met people like you, and I was like, these random. I'll just be walking around, and people will come up to me and have a conversation with me. Because where I'm from, that shit does not happen. So I was a little thrown. I remember I was talking to my dad about it. I was like, Dad, who are these people? And he was like, I don't know. And at the end of the day, we kind of just came to a realization.
Well, now that you've lived here and you've done it yourself, you get the adrenaline rush.
Yeah. I'm like,
wow. There's a kick out. It's not easy, but you get a kick out of it. I'm generally happier when my adrenaline gets pushed like that.
Yeah, because it's stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly,
and it grows you.
Yeah, I mean that's why people in Florida are crazy. Some people just take that to the absolute
next level.
Like they need that like high, like so bad that they're just go do crazy, stupid things.
Stupid shit for attention.
But like I get enough out of just like talking to someone and getting rid of my social anxiety for 5 minutes, and like sometimes it's transactional, and sometimes I just make like a very good connection, and that's that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah, that's why 100%. We're both here right now.
Yeah,
that's why we're gonna continue to do this.
Exactly.
We're looking forward to it.
100%. The energy's there. I really like where it's at, and
we're looking forward to the future. A lot of things ahead. We recently reached 200 followers on our Instagram, so everyone's up there and watching. Great shout out to you. We got more stuff on the way, and we're looking forward to it. So thank you guys.
That's good.
That's fucking fire.
I'm gonna save this for my fucking computer dies.
There was a few like when we rambled on about sports a little bit, but I was trying to think of the next topic.
I know.
But it was good. Other than that, bro,